What's up everybody, this is Cheese Mr. Poof and I welcome you to yet another episode of Magic Monday. This time around it's something a little bit different. I got bored of playing Magic Duels all the time. I thought that Magic Monday was getting kind of repetitive, so I wanted to give you something new because Magic Monday is all about magic, all things magic, and I haven't done spoiler videos really for Magic, so we're gonna be looking at some of the cards spoiled from the new set, Shadows over Innistrad. So let's just get into this. I'll give my opinion on the cards and stuff like that, and you get to see some of the cards if you haven't already. And if you're a Magic player, I don't know why you haven't seen the new cards already, but here they are. Okay, so the first one we're going to be taking a look at is Archangel Avacyn. So it's 3 white for a 4/4 flyer with Vigilance and Flash. That's already pretty solid, but it has more. There's when Archangel Avacyn enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And that's not even all of it. When a non-angel creature you control dies, transform Avacyn at the beginning of the next upkeep. So we get Avacyn the Purifier. And that's pretty awesome. I mean, just look at the art there. The blood-stained wings are here. That's super awesome. If you watched the Shadows over Innistrad trailer, that was pretty cool as well. I love the trailers for Magic. So, when she transforms, we get a 6/5 flyer, and when this creature transforms into Avacyn, deal 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. So this is a white-red Avacyn from the color identities. And the effects are really strong. I think this might see some standard play. I'm not sure in which deck you would play this, but the effects are really strong. I mean, but then again, there is the double white, and then again, in which deck will you play this 5 mana 4/4 with Flash and Flying and Vigilance? I mean, we still don't know, but I think it might see play. It's a really good card in my opinion, and it's a mythic. I mean, mythics are good. And it's a legendary creature, so you can't really just be flashing in all your Avacyns. But you can do some weird combo wombos with this card, and you can actually flash in an Avacyn while the trigger is on the stack for the transformation to become the Purifier. It gets really confusing from there. I'm not going to go into all that jazz. So let's look at another card we get here. So it's a 5 mana 7/7 flyer, 3 blue for a 7/7. It's Geralf's Masterpiece. And look at that art. That is some real art right there. It's a zombie horror, it's a mythic, and it's a flyer. 7/7 for 5 is really solid, so we're in for some debuffs. Let's see. Geralf's Masterpiece gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. And the effect is 3 and a blue. Discard 3 cards. Return Geralf's Masterpiece from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And that downside isn't even that bad. The fact that you can just discard 3 cards, well, then again, you're discarding 3 cards. But if those 3 cards are all land, you're getting some value. But if those 3 cards are land, you're probably losing the game at that point. Anyway, I like this card. It's a 7/7 for 5 and a flyer. So if you get this in a draft or pre-release, sealed, you're probably playing this. If you're like pool supports blue. I mean, it's a huge flyer, and people usually have trouble dealing with flyers in limited because you can't really plan for them that well. So you're well off drafting a lot of flyers and beating face, and this is just the right card for that. Anyway, let's check another card. This card, awesome though. I'm not gonna be giving them like solid ratings like some people do, like 5 out of 10, stuff like that. I'm just gonna be telling you what I think of them, maybe stuff like that. I don't even know. I didn't really plan this video. I was like, hey, I could do a spoiler card video for Shadows over Innistrad, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. So this guy, I'm really excited about this guy. Relentless Dead, black for a 2/2 with Menace. And it has these fun effects, like when Relentless Dead dies, you may pay 1 black. If you do, return it to its owner's hand. That's really good. When Relentless Dead dies, you may pay X. If you do, return another target zombie creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. To the battlefield. And may I remind you that there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this guy. Especially the 3 mana 3/1 guy that makes players sack creatures when he enters the battlefield. I'm forgetting the name. For some reason, I don't know. I played that card a lot in Limited and in Kitchen Table when I was starting out Magic. Anyway, just as the stats 2/2 for 2, Bear is decent. The black is a bit but it has Menace. So that makes it kind of a really good card. About drafting this guy. Yes, I would probably draft this guy because not sure if it's first pick, but I think it might be because when it dies, you may pay black and return it to your hand. So you keep on getting it back. And you probably have the mana to pay for this in Limited, honestly. And I think it's just a fine card. I'm not sure if it's going to be played in Standard because I don't know what deck it could fit in, but it might see play. You can always say it might see play. Okay, that card is a bit shaded, so we're going to look at that. Let's actually look at this card. It has one of the mechanics. I'm not sure if it's new. I think it's new. So we get a Soul Swallower. 2 green for a 3/3 with Trample. I like it already. Because every time I go to a pre-release, I somehow end up playing green. I played green in my first pre-release. It was Teamer actually, but the green was there. Second pre-release, Dragons of Tarkir. I played green because I played a Tarka. And I was like, green. And then for the third pre-release, it was Battle for Zendikar. And I was like, this time I'm not gonna play green. I cracked 2 of those 2/3s for 3 mana that spawn a 1/1 Scion and they let you scry if they die. I have it there, but I'm too lazy to look. I cracked 2 of those and I was like, fuck. I guess I'm going green. And I went green, but I went 2/3, which wasn't the best, but I don't know. I felt like doing it. I wanted to go Jund, but I couldn't. It was just too unstable. Anyway, we have Delirium at the beginning of your upkeep. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, put 3 1/1 counters on Soul Swallower. I don't know how I feel about Delirium, but 6/6 for 4 with Trample, I'm all for that. I'm a green man, heart to heart, and if you can get the 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, good for you, man. I'm not sure how often you actually get to trigger Delirium, but this actually triggers at the beginning of your upkeep every time. So if I understand it right, this guy is going to keep on getting the counters if you have the 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. So that seems actually pretty decent. A really solid card in my opinion. So let's look at some of the other interesting cards and then maybe wrap this up. This card is not visible nicely, but it's a card that I really love, and I think I might actually go green again in my pre-release if I crack this guy. It's the Pack Guardian. 2 green for a 4/3 with Flash. That's already good. But when it enters the battlefield, you may discard a land. If you do, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token on the battlefield. So imagine this. You have 4 mana open, and they're going to combat. You flash this guy in, discard a land, you block their shitty 1/1 with your 2/2, you block their shitty 2/2 with this guy, you're getting huge value and you're getting Zempo. And that's what I like. Also, it's a wolf spirit, and I like wolves and I like spirits. And I think it's pretty awesome. And it's protecting the little puppy there. It's an awesome card. This might just be one of my favorite cards from the set, if not favorite card from the set. Anyway, let's look at some lore fun cards. We got Declaration in Stone. 1 and a white for sorcery. Exile target creature and all other creatures its controller controls with the same name as that creature. That player investigates for each non-token creature exiled this way. Now, if you don't know what investigate is you put a colorless clue artifact token on the battlefield, and it has for 2 generic mana, sack it and draw a card. So they're basically clue stones. You get it? Clues, clue stones. That's what we're going for. Anyway, that's not the most exciting part about this card. For me, the exciting part is the flavor text. The message was clear to Sorin. Nahiri had paid Markov Manor a visit. Oh yeah, Nahiri is super pissed for some reason. We don't know why. Maybe they had a thing with Sorin, and then Sorin was like, "Oh, I'm going away." But who knows, man? I'm really into the lore, so I want to know what's going on. I don't know if they explained it in the newest Magic story, but I actually follow the Magic stories they post. They used to be called Uncharted Realms, but now they're Magic Story. But I like those, and I hope they're gonna explain a lot of this stuff, because it seems cool. And then one last card before we leave. I might just do another one of these videos for next week if we get more spoilers and stuff like that. Anyway, so Thing in the Ice. So it's just 1 and a blue for an 0/4, not that much, with Defender. It's kind of a dude. Thing in the Ice enters the battlefield with 4 ice counters on it. Yeah, sure, explain it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, remove an ice counter from Thing in the Ice. Then if it has no ice counters on it, transform it into the Awoken Horror, who is a fucking badass. A Kraken Horror, a 7/8. You're paying 2 mana for a 7/8. But, well, you're not getting the 7/8 right away, obviously. But 7/8. And when this creature transforms into a Awoken Horror, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hands. So all you gotta do is cast 4 instant sorcery spells, and you get this huge dude that bounces everything that's not a horror. I think this card might actually see play. Calling it right now. I mean, I think it might actually see play in a blue-black control deck, because, I mean, you play this turn 2 because you're not playing Jace in this scenario. You play this, and then what happens? What happens? You play this, and then they do something on their turn 2, or however it goes, and then you'll just keep up your counterspell mana, your bounce mana, whatever the mana you do, and you keep on casting your things, and when you cast 4, this bad boy flips. And then they have a Kraken Horror to deal with. And I find that awesome. Anyway, I think that is a perfect wrap up for today's episode of Magic Monday, and if you want to see me do more spoiler videos where I talk about the cards and just like give my opinions on them, leave a comment down below, and yeah, I think that's about it. Please tell me if you want to see more of these, because I'll make more of these. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it, man. I'll do it. Anyway, that has been the Magic Monday for today. I'm your host, Mr. Poof, and it has been a pleasure. I'll see you on the next one.